The great basketball player Wilt Chamberlain once said, "Be careful about the habits you form because they will form you for the rest of your life." And he was absolutely right. He could score 100 points in a game, but put him on the free throw line, and suddenly he struggled, barely a 50% shooter. What does that show? Even someone with extraordinary talent can be limited by deeply ingrained habits. Habits get installed, often without us even realizing it, and they can quietly shape the outcome of our lives. So let's break this down. The brain creates habits as a way to handle short-term survival. Whenever it finds something that works, even once, it starts reinforcing it. Neural pathways get stronger, circuits get insulated, and before you know it, a habit is formed. Dopamine plays a big role here. Every time a behavior works and gives a reward, dopamine reinforces it. It feels good, so your brain locks it in. That's the good news, and also the bad news. Because most of us grow up in environments that install habits into us automatically through family, past experiences, and even generations before us. These patterns become preloaded programs that start running our lives. And the scary part, we don't even notice them. It's like two fish talking, and one says, "I'm breathing water," and and the other asks, "What water?" When something is always around you, you stop seeing it. Wherever you feel stuck in life, it's usually not random. It's patterns that once helped you survive, but are now holding you back. They were useful at one point, but they may no longer serve your current goals. The speaker shares a personal example. He grew up in a chaotic household. Alcoholism, instability, mental health issues. As a child, he learned how to survive in that chaos. And he got good at it. But later in life, even after leaving that environment, he realized something powerful. He had left home. But home hadn't left him. He carried those patterns inside. He was wired for chaos. And even when life was calm, he would unconsciously create chaos, because that's what felt familiar. It wasn't until he became aware of these patterns that he started gaining control over who he was becoming. And that's the first step. Awareness. You can't change what you don't notice. Most people hit a point in life where they feel stuck, like they're hitting a ceiling over and over again. They don't understand why they can't break through, but the answer is simple. You're stuck in a habit loop. And that loop has been reinforced for years through dopamine and repetition. It feels safe. It feels familiar. So it keeps pulling you back, even if it's holding you back. Now here's where it gets real. The speaker talks about a trading client who kept sabotaging himself. Every time he reached a certain level of success, he would blow up his account. Why? Because of a deeper pattern. Growing up, his father constantly told him he would fail. No support, no encouragement, just criticism. Over time, the child internalized that belief. I'm going to mess this up. And guess what happened? He kept proving it true. Even as an adult, he kept recreating situations that confirmed that identity. That's how powerful habits and beliefs are. But then something changed. He started noticing the pattern. And that's when everything begins to shift. He realized, I don't have habits. My habits have me. That awareness gave him power, because once you can observe a pattern, you're no longer fully controlled by it. So how do you actually change? It starts with two key things. One, regulating yourself, your state. The speaker emphasizes diaphragmatic breathing. Not just during meditation, but throughout the day. Why? Because your breathing controls your emotional state. If you can stay calm, your habits don't hijack you as easily. 2. Learning to observe your thoughts. This is huge. You are not your thoughts. You are not your beliefs. They were acquired from your past, your environment, your experiences, but you've been identifying with them. When you step back and observe, you start seeing them for what they are, patterns, not truth. From there, you can begin to rebuild. You can consciously choose which emotional patterns you want to strengthen. You can pull from real past experiences where you performed well and train those responses. Over time, you start creating a new self. Because at the end of the day, that's what you are. A collection of patterns, habits, and emotional programs. But you're also much more than that. The speaker ends with another personal realization about money. For years, he was chasing money. Not to create wealth, but to get it back. It was a story passed down through his family. But one day he realized, that's not even my story. And everything changed. He stopped seeing money as identity and started seeing it as a tool, a byproduct of value creation. That's the deeper message here. Most of what you think is you
is just conditioning. And once you see it clearly, you can change it. You can build a new version of yourself intentionally. That's the real work.